Mr. District Attorney. Champion of the people, defender of truth, guardian of our fundamental rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
And it shall be my duty as district attorney not only to prosecute to the limit of the law all persons accused of crimes perpetrated within this county, but to defend with equal vigor the right and privileges of all its citizens.
Now, Mr. Turner, I'd like to review a certain phase of the police investigation of the murder of your wife.
Yes, sir.
Well, when the police arrived after you had called them, you said in front of the two officers, "I killed her. She had it coming."
I'm sorry, sir, but I didn't say that.
I see. Well, will you tell the court what you did say?
Yes, sir. Actually, I may not remember the exact words. I was quite upset. But I believe I said, I killed her. I should have been here. I shouldn't have left her alone. That was it generally.
In other words, you now claim you blame yourself for your wife's murder because you went out that evening.
Yes, sir. I blame myself then. I still blame myself.
Mr. Turner, will you look at this, please?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Is this a full and complete confession of the murder of your wife, which you signed in the presence of witnesses?
Yes, sir.
In view of this confession, do you deny you made it and signed it?
No, sir. I signed that confession.
Then you did shoot and kill your wife?
No, sir. I did not kill my wife.
Then why did you sign it?
To make the blood play alone so I could get some sleep. I was tired, heartbroken about Sally. They kept asking me questions all night long. And Sally was lying in... I'd have signed anything just to be let alone.
You say that the police questioned you all night long. This confession was signed at 10 p.m.
I meant to say all afternoon long.
Are you claiming the police used coercion?
Did I say that?
Mr. Turner, you are here in this court because the state charges you with the murder of your wife. The prosecution has produced a confession which you freely admit you signed. Now, are you accusing the police of using brutality or undue pressure to get that confession?
No, sir, I'm not. They did their jobs. I was just terribly upset, confused and nervous. In my state, I might have signed anything.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. No further questions.
No questions.
Miss Daly, will you tell the court if Paul Turner ever owned a gun?
Yes, he did. I saw it on several occasions.
Well, what type of gun was it?
A revolver.
Would you be able to tell us the caliber?
Well, I'm not sure.
Miss Daly, would you pick the gun you feel is most like Paul Turner's gun?
This one is very much like Paul's gun.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Daly picked a .38. Mrs. Turner was shot and killed with a .38 according to the ballistics report. Now, Miss Daly, did you ever hear Mr. Turner threaten to kill his wife?
Yes, at a party. He was very angry, and he said he'd kill her someday.
Why was he angry?
Because they'd been arguing about a man Sally knew. He was furious, very jealous. He thought she'd gone out with other men.
Miss Daly, to your knowledge, had Mrs. Turner gone out with other men?
She was my sister, Mr. Garrett. I know she never even looked at another man.
Well, thank you, Miss Daly. Your witness, Mr. Blaney.
Miss Daly, you say Mr. Turner owned a revolver. That is, you say you saw a gun in the Turner home.
Yes, sir. I saw his gun all right.
Do you know for a fact that the gun you claimed you saw belonged to Mr. Turner?
Well, no, but I assumed that it did.
Miss Daly, a man's life is at stake. I don't feel we should attempt to convict him on assumptions. Then you cannot swear that the gun that you saw belonged to Mr. Turner.
No, sir.
Might have belonged to a friend, anyone at all.
But he said it was his.
Now, as to the identification of the gun you saw, Miss Daly. Would you look at this, please? I believe you said earlier that you were seated at a distance from Mr. Turner when he handled the gun you saw. You never handled it yourself.
Oh, no, I never touched it.
Did you ever see it any closer than this?
No, I don't think so.
Is this similar to the gun you claim Mr. Turner had in his hand?
Yes, it looks just like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I submit that Miss Daly is in no position to accuse Mr. Turner of owning a gun. This is no gun, but a water pistol. I don't know what Miss Daly saw, but I submit Mr. Turner does not own a gun, never has owned a gun, and the prosecution has not found the murder weapon. Thank you, Miss Daly.
An old-tired trick. Amazing how a jury falls for it. Even though all the evidence pointed to Turner as a killer.
Like the judge said, if there's any reasonable doubt of guilt, you must find the defendant innocent.
Well, you know, we've lost cases before, and we've been wrong before.
You can't win them all, Paul.
Yes, but this time I'm not satisfied. Little things that Paul Turner did and said, they didn't quite fit in with that smooth, polite, yes sir, no sir way of his.
That's why I had Dr. Lindsay there. I thought maybe he might see something or think of something that would help.
I must say that psychiatry isn't the answer to everything, Paul. However, I do agree with you. Turner's not quite right. Not quite normal.
Yes? Paul Turner? Yes, send him in. Speaking of the devil, I wonder what he wants. I'm glad you're here, Dr. Lindsay. Come in. Yes, Mr. Turner?
I imagine you're quite surprised to see me.
Yes, I am. You know Captain Trent, of course. This is Dr. Lindsay. Dr. Lindsay, Mr. Turner.
I remember him from court.
Sit down, please.
Thank you. I'm a free man, Mr. Garrett. Not only free, but happy. I won. I beat all of you.
That's right. But we'd still like to find the man who did kill your wife.
Isn't that the job of the police department?
It's our job, all right, but we often need help. It would help a lot if we knew why she was killed.
Who knows? Maybe someone was trying to get even with me. They were jealous of me. Yeah, sure, that's it. Jealous. Somebody hated me.
Mr. Turner, you do want to help us find the murderer of your wife.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? You'd like me to help. Well, let me tell you something. I'm remembering the people who tried to kill me. All of them. And I'll get even. My own friends, witnesses, saying I killed Sally. Even Sally's sister. She hates me.
I wouldn't make threats, Turner.
You're quite a cop, Trent. Yes, sir, I'm scared to death of you. Where's the murder weapon, Trent? Where's the gun you said I killed Sally with?
Right where the murderer put it after he killed her.
You're a diehard, Trent, but you can't do anything to me. I've been tried for Sally's murder. You can't ever try me for that again.
That's right. We can never try you again for the murder of your wife.
The jury decided I was just a nice guy with a lot of trouble, that's all. But you, Mr. Garrett, and you, Trent, you wanted to see me die for something I didn't do.
We weren't trying to persecute you, Mr. Turner. All the evidence pointed to you as the killer.
Yeah, but you couldn't prove anything because I was innocent. Well, I'm not forgetting the ones who tried to kill me. You, Trent, Ralph Miller, Jim Brown, and Mildred Daly. I'll be thinking about all of you.
The case of the people versus Paul Turner. It's closed, but it's not over. He's sick and he's dangerous. But I don't think we should close the case on Turner.
Anything you say, Paul, but how do we begin? What do we work for?
Well, I think I can help on that. The man's a paranoiac. I suspected it before, but I'm positive now. His outbursts in here are typical. It's a progressive mental disease. A man's mind creates the poison that drugs his reason. He imagines he's persecuted, betrayed. He thinks people are following him, planning to do him some injury.
But still sane enough to pass a sanity hearing.
I'd say so, yes.
Well, what's the normal progress of this type of insanity?
Well, it's hard to tell. He could reach the stage where he could be committed under the law at any time.
You feel he would attempt another murder?
Well, that, of course, is conjecture. But he will get worse and worse.
His target will be someone he hates. One of the witnesses, me.
Well, he didn't exactly find me his type either. Trent, I think Turner should be put under police surveillance. I want to know everything he does, night and day. And don't miss a bet. And Dr. Lindsay.
Yes, Paul.
Go over the trial testimony and Turner's background. If this man is going to kill again, it'll help us to know all the likely and possible victims.
All right. We should certainly be able to narrow the field down.
We'll give you a complete history of the man, a list of everyone he knows and his relationship with them.
Good.
Murder. Man's most horrible crime. And Turner. A sick man who follows no normal pattern. Are we going to be able to predict the actions of such a man?